Hey there, welcome to my little corner of the world over to you. So glad to have you here on this beautiful, beautiful spring day. Today I have a wonderful guest. His name is Mark Winters. Contacted me a few weeks ago, and he's an interesting one. Aerospace engineer, seriously brilliant guy, knows just about everything, and grew up there in Sugar Land, Texas, home of home of the NASA folks, and he's really into that stuff. But he got into music, and he just basically is self-taught. Really, really amazing guy who can just do anything once he puts his mind to it. It's a great conversation. He combines music, poetry, science all in one. I mean, who does that? It's just completely amazing. So really enjoyed this one. I'm so happy to have you here, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Mark Winters from Texas. He's traveling all over the United States, particularly in the West. He's up there in Portland, Oregon, and just going all over the place, playing these wonderful venues. Everybody's singing along, having a great time. He has an amazing catalog of very interesting, amazing music. His second album, Boundary Layer, is just fabulous. I totally recommend that one. E equals MC squared. Of course, he would do something like that. An album that is just featuring just incredible music. So really get into this. It's from rocket science to rhythm. That is his motto. Had a great time talking with him while he's on the road. Not the greatest internet connection, but he's using Starlink. So you'll hear how he was able to do that, as well as a lot of other things. Wonderful time. See you on the other side of this thing.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? Finally hooking up here.
G- Thank you so much for your patience with all of my internet woes.
It happens. This is funny because my other computer is like clicking off of the internet here too. I'm on wireless on this one, and I'm on the Ethernet with this other one. It's like I didn't hit anything. I swear everything's good here. It could be so fickle at times, but especially when you're on the road, it's even worse.
Yeah, it's as a matter of fact, my hotel Wi-Fi is terrible today as well. So I'm on cellular. It's
Oh
better for
gosh.
because it's insane. I don't know. So yeah, uh, I had some work to do yesterday when I rolled in, and the internet here just was terrible. So I have a little Starlink I travel with, and so I did my work in my car
Oh gosh.
because
It's
I couldn't.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, so but they have good coffee, so I'm all good. Yeah,
Coffee's good, yeah, and hopefully they have a nice breakfast too. Some do, some don't.
yeah, yeah. I'm hopeful that that's good. We'll see. I'll sample that in a minute.
It's so funny because like hotels never got better with their internet all this time, and it's been out for years. It's just like it was always like
Yeah,
slow or always ridiculous, and it's like it's never really improved. It's
yeah,
like kind of a novelty if you just happen to have it and you're on the road, you're good. You could just check email or
yeah,
whatever, socials.
yeah,
That's funny. Cool. So you're on the road still, traveling, doing your thing, putting
yeah.
on shows.
Yep, yep. I'm on the way. Yeah, I'm just got back in from Canada. Had a few shows here in Oregon. I got a few more, and then
Hmm.
a few more in Canada. Then I'm gonna run down the coast of California.
Nice. So you're really doing it. You're really touring. That's where the bread and butter is, from what I understand. It's not so much like in the recording and the publishing as much.
Yeah, that's the recording is a lot about market. Well, I guess there's two different paths. As a writer, you can write for other people, and you can make money syncing and other things for your music. So that's definitely a career path. Um, or writing for other people who are releasing music is a choice. I'm a writer and an artist, and so for the artist side, you got to put music out all the time. You got to play live shows. You got to be out there doing the thing. And I think you can either get discovered on TikTok randomly from the algorithm, or you can put your work in on the road. I happen to love live performances, and so that's the path that I'm taking.
Yeah, trying to make it big on TikTok these days. Used to be YouTube. That's how Justin Bieber got it. But it's really in the timing because it's like now, like everybody can get on TikTok. Everybody can it's just so hard to really stand out. You got to do something really, really insane to really get that attention and really get people to say, "Hey, yeah, let's go hit this website now and check out
Yeah,
this artist."
yeah, for sure.
But it's better that you are connecting by playing the venues that you do. What kind of venues are you playing at?
Typically 100 to 300 person listening rooms, maybe in a newer market at 50 to 100. So a place that, original music is welcome. So it's a whole variety, yeah, there's a bit of a gap. You're talking about internet gaps, and we're talking about, sort of the way it used to be on YouTube or TikTok. Um, yeah, it's a bit in that category for the venues as well. Um, Venues used to be a lot more prolific before COVID. And so a lot of the smaller venues closed during COVID and they didn't reopen. And so there's a bit of a gap. A lot of communities might have one room, one smaller room, or none. That used to have quite a bit. And so uh, just finding the right places to vibe has kind of been an interesting journey for me. Um, but yeah, I do, you know, a place that likes original music, a place that's friendly to newer artists, a place that I can invite my fans to uh, that they'll enjoy being at. And so, kind of you have to triangulate all those little things and then you find a
Yeah.
good spot. And then it's got to be on my tour route, right? So I have I drive about 5 hours a day, and then play a show in the evening. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's my second year to tour heavily, and I think it's been great for me as an artist. Developmental wise, it's also been a fun experience. Just getting out there and starting to build a community. Around my project. It's been pretty fun.
Yeah. So how did your whole journey begin? Just like you come from a real mathematics science background and obviously a music lover. So it just when did that spark was it an epiphany that you had one day like, wow, I think I could do something with this?
Yeah, so like as you said, music's been I don't know, it's been the soundtrack to the things that I do, right? So I love being, you know, uh, if I'm rollerblading or surfing or running or hiking or whatever, I enjoy having music kind of cooking, even when I'm studying,
Mm,
right? It's always been like a potentiator, makes things more, of whatever I'm doing. And so that's been the role of music in my life all the way up until uh, you know, I decided to do something musical myself. So
yeah.
before that, it was like math, science. I love my background's aerospace engineering. I love applied physics and how learning how the world works and in math just sort of a good yeah, primary language for me. I love it. And so that was my life, doing the thing, designing helicopters and jets and
Wow.
whatnot. And then I picked up a guitar to play a song for my wife for our anniversary. That was in 2011. And you know, I just wanted to do something musical, and that's just what I picked, right?
Mm,
Um, and the the emotional connection that I got
hmm.
singing a song to
Yeah.
my wife was just phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can know that feeling. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you've got it. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, that is like kind of like an
Ah,
epiphany. But
yeah, it was.
you basically because gosh, you got this aeronautical background, so much. So, what was it like using that part of your brain, which you probably didn't really use much? That's more of a right brain thing, learning the guitar. But then again, you use your analytical skills too to do that. How did that come about? You just picked up the guitar, and there's a serious learning curve there.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of humorous, Bob. I'm kind of you know, when I decide to do a thing, I lean in to do the thing,
Totally.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, all right. Well, I guess three things. One, um, my grandma was a bit of an artistic influence in my life when I was younger. So she taught me to write poetry when I was a small boy. It's like a really weird story around how that happened, but we've been poetry pals my whole life, and so nothing major. I love in the morning I write poems before the world assaults me before I pick up my phone and do things, right? Typically haikus because I like the meter for that, and it loves my mathematical side of my brain. Um, and so that's kind of been the creative outlet for me, but nothing, overt. And so when I picked up the guitar to play, uh, and I sang a song for her, uh, it was an amazing moment, and I didn't know what created that sense of euphoria, that epiphany. Was it the moment? Was it her? Was it the song? Was it the playing the guitar? Was it the singing? I didn't know. And so I became, obsessed with learning. Okay, what was it? What was the thing that really lit me up? So I put a little band together and, learned to play some other music. And I was on this journey. And what I found over time was it was when I was singing that it really made me connect with other people. And I started changing the words to songs that I was singing, cover songs that I was singing, because I wanted to say my own thing. It was like if people were like, "That's not the word for that," or "That's not the lyric," and so that led me to writing my own material. And so, um, you know, uh, I think of I think of my journey into music as sort of being the first time where I felt like I was using both parts of my brain, right?
Right. Yeah,
You
you
know,
are.
and it kind of for me, like it's even more like uh, visceral because like I'm ambidextrous, and so I do I write poetry and paint left-handed, and then I do engineering work right-handed. And so for me, kind of, I always have this notion of what am I? It was a like a conscious choice. I didn't know what to do. I didn't when I do a new thing, like I'm throwing a football or a baseball or playing tennis, I have to kind of pick it up with both hands and try it to see the thing.
Huh.
Um, and so as I'm kind of on this journey, uh, I didn't know whether, music was going to be one of those things. It's like, okay, I try to play, you know, I play the guitar left-handed and right-handed, and where does it land for me? And it's the first time in my life that I can remember something actually taking both sides of my brain at the same time, right? You
Hmm.
got to be in the flow of all of it, right? You got to
Yeah.
apply all those things you've learned in engineering. You've got to also become this creative embodiment of the song and deliver it in a way that is relatable to everyone. And so it's been it's been phenomenal. I still haven't figured it all out, but I'm on the journey, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So when did the recording start for you and getting in? Did you go to a studio or you basically got your own home setup as far as like getting the sound down that you really want?
Yeah, you know, because music was so new to me, I had to teach myself everything. All the things you learn, I guess, when you're growing up doing a thing, you have all I guess if you're into music, you do your recitals and you do all the things, you kind of go through all the steps. I had to go through all those myself as an adult, which was an interesting journey. So I taught myself, I bought a class on Udemy and a couple classes. I bought Music Theory 1 and 2 and digital audio recording. And I kind of started the journey of learning. And as I I did that when I wanted to write my own music. So that was in 2018. So I
Hmm.
played, I just kind of was learning between 2011 and 2018. And then in 2018, um, writing music was my goal. And so I was sort of studying music theory for that reason. And I would get a session up on the digital audio workstation, and I would, individually do the things, right? It was like watching someone bake a cake that takes like 5 days to bake. It's like
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
it was
it
so
is.
slow for me, right? I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
one. I mean, how do you crack an egg? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let me see if how to do that. How do you do? So for me, I had to sort of lay it all out slowly, 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 and then I could zhuzh it around, and then you know, for me, it was that sense of discovery and learning and wonder, and and so I didn't. And then when I kind of got the songs together-ish, I'd never written a song, so you don't even know what the form of a song is, as a writer. I found a producer. I interviewed a bunch and said, "Hey guys, I want to produce an album. My first one, it's an exploratory album. And oh, by the way, uh, I don't know much, and I'm annoying because I want to know everything."
It's really,
So,
really leaning in. I'm serious. I know people like that. It's like they go
yeah,
so all in, and I don't know if you would call it an obsession or whatever, but like I have people who just that's all they do. It's like they're so like focused and just don't think of anything else. So it sounds like that. So you're just like totally into it.
yeah, yeah. I started leaning more and more into it, and then as I put my first album out in 2019, had a small tour behind it. I put a little four-piece band together uh, to tour with me on that. COVID hit and interrupted everything, and so that I was a little sad. And then I figured COVID would be around for a while, which it was, and so I pivoted. Uh, from this four-piece, light rock band sound. I rearranged my music to being more like a singer-songwriter because I hadn't had that journey. And went online, did a bunch of Zoom online shows, ticketed shows actually, to raise money for charities that I liked. And I connected with other artists around the country doing that. Um, and that really began my journey as a singer-songwriter as opposed to like a band. Um, and I think, just sort of leaning into that over COVID really helped me a lot just to learn, how to be a solo performer. And then coming out of COVID, that's the first thing that opened up in the Houston community, which is where I live, Sugarland. Um, and I connected with a lot of other singer-songwriters coming out of COVID. And um, yeah, I think just just starting the learning process, in so many ways as an adult, you have to put your 10,000 steps in. Uh,
Yes.
can you do it?
Yeah.
Can you do the thing? And then, once you figure out, can you do the thing? What do you want to say? Right? What is your voice and how do you want to say it? All those discovery journeys were happening in that timeline.
Yeah, that's very, very true. What you want to say and how you do it. And so Slipstream is your debut album back in 2019.
Yep, Slipstream, and it's actually a scientific phenomenon, which you'll find in some of my song titles. A little juxtaposition of science on top of philosophy. Uh, so for me, yeah, Slipstream, the title was about, I had so many amazing people helping me on the journey. And if you're a cyclist or you watch birds fly, you know about, what a peloton or a pack can do. The person up front is putting more energy in, and the people behind them who are sort of in the slipstream of the person up front
Hmm.
are having an easier time of it because the friction is happening on the front person, right?
Ah,
And so that's the
interesting.
concept album, and it had a light rock, some heavier rock, some more acousticy, vibey things. So an exploratory um, album for me, and a ton of fun. I did some of the recordings uh, in Nashville. My producer, that's where he was based, which was a cool journey just to go there and see all the amazing history that surrounds Nashville and the music that's been created there. So yeah, it was a lot of fun making that album.
Yeah, yeah, that's very interesting though. That's kind of like that Tour de France, Lance Armstrong kind of thing. Was that kind of like an influence there? It's just like the peloton and people getting carrying up from the leader of the pack. That's a very interesting concept. I really find that very interesting.
Yeah, it to me it um, you don't think about why. I guess my brain kind of works that way. You don't think about why do birds fly in a V formation, right? Or
Right,
what's
right.
up?
Why do they
Why are
do
these
that?
people riding like in a pack on their bicycle? I mean, what's up with that? Why would they do that, right? And why don't they just ride on their own? And then you realize, oh wow, you can go 20% faster as a group if you do that for the same amount of energy, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah,
well, that's why you do it because there's some kind of a cool energy for that. So yeah, kind of a fun concept, and you know, uh, that I try to find those overlaps a lot. Um,
yeah.
yeah, a lot of cool songs from that album. I wrote a song about my trip to Norway with my wife. There's a song called Jarle's Mountain in there, which was a good story about Jarle uh, taking us up on the mountain, hiking with us, and telling us family stories, like a I don't know 10th generation Norwegian mountain guide. And so I found some great opportunities in that album to have some fun and to explore what sound I wanted.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Just, using your life experiences and including it in the package of your album. So that's been getting like lots of great streams. You're available everywhere, including like Spotify, all those places. So it looks like you're getting great numbers there as well.
Yeah, I've done I've been a fairly prolific since I started. I put Slipstream out in 2019, and then I put a second album out uh, almost, I guess, 3 years later, called Boundary Layer, another scientific title. We break through boundaries in our lives philosophically, but in computational fluid dynamics, which is my field of study, um, there's a concept of boundary layers for objects that are moving through fluids or gases together,
Mm,
and how one particle that's moving through the same fluid, as it gets near another object, it enters the boundary layer of that object, which is a perturbation at the
oh,
surface of the
wow.
object, and sort of fights through the boundary and then hits the surface and goes in a new direction, which is kind of philosophical, right? That's kind of how we break through boundaries, right? So that album was a lot of fun, to make as well. And I think just sort of learning more about what kind of sound I wanted to have, and a couple of songs from that album have become crowd favorites live. The title track, Boundary Layer. People like hearing that live, as well as a song called Signal
Mm.
from that. So yeah, that's that was my second album, and a lot of fun, and a great exploration. I would say as I lean more in to performing, I learned I love a little more organic sound, and so um, yeah, I put an album out called Acoustic Me, which was like acoustic renditions of my library, the more popular songs in my library, and that that's kind of, if you came out to see me live, you'd hear that kind of a vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun to create. I have an amazing team back home who helped me create that album, and something that really is a good indicator of the direction that I like to go now when I'm writing new music and putting it out.
Yeah, how are people getting your albums? Do you have press on vinyl or is it just CD or just streaming?
Yeah, uh, I have CDs for um, my first set of albums. So each of my albums has a CD that goes with it. Um, I tried vinyl with Acoustic Me, and people actually, have gravitated more towards the vinyl. It's a thing now, I guess.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I do have vinyls available for that, and then CDs available for the other. But I'd say most people find me streaming. As a new artist, your discovery is happening either on Spotify or on YouTube. That's typically, I think, where people will find me. I do have some radio placements, but not a ton. And so I'd say most of the time people are finding me on Spotify uh, or YouTube. Um, and then they might, when I'm out playing live somewhere, they might pick up a CD or a vinyl, at the show.
Yeah, it's nice to have the physical copy of it, and I'm sure, with artwork and lyrics and all of that, it's really nice to have that. It's a more visceral experience than just simply streaming. You could take it anywhere. That's nice. The convenience is there, but it's also nice to have that piece of the artist there, and you really feel a true connection, just as much as you do performing live as well. So, what kind of reaction do you get from crowds? People come up to you and say, "Wow, this is really hitting with me."
Yeah, that was the thing that I didn't know until I went out on tour last year for the first time, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm living in my own little echo chamber, right? I'm putting
yeah,
music out, and I'm talking to people through social media or email, and you didn't know what the live room feel was going to be, and you know, I kind of like when I was exploring my first album, what my sound would be, what are my goals in being out? I knew what I thought they would be, but does that resonate with people is a question. What I found myself really wanting to do is share some positive energy, right? I want to create a positive energy environment in the room. Um, yeah, I think about that as like, I'm carrying these extra protons with me, right? Got them in my bag,
yeah,
and I'm out, bringing that extra positive energy to a new room, and I want to connect with people and build a sense of community, and maybe lift everyone's spirits a little bit, and encourage them, to share some of that positivity, in their community when they go home. And so that's my goal. So, I think uh, I'm a storyteller. So when you come to a show, you're going
mm,
to hear, "Hey, I wrote this song. I was out in Zion hiking with my wife, and I
yeah,
managed
yeah,
to lose her on the trail. I don't know how, and then I found her, and I wrote a song about staying in the rhythm with the people you care about, so you experience life together. It's called All in the Rhythm, and then I'll play the song, right? So that's a,
yeah.
a baby version of a story you might hear. And so I love telling stories and connecting with people, on that level. You'd hear me playing my acoustic guitar. So while I'm touring last year and this year, it's a solo tour. I haven't brought my band with me yet. And so you'll hear me playing my acoustic guitar. Um, I like to loop with the guitar, so I'll loop some percussion. Um, and I'll loop, some chords and play some guitar solos that are a part of the music. Nothing super jammy, bluesy. I can do that,
Yeah.
but that's not my sound. And so, from time to time, you'd hear me play the piano, some of the more ballady pieces to just sort of how I wrote those songs on the piano. Um, yeah, and I think you'd leave. I do place a few covers in my shows, but they're like meaningful covers for me that were people like writers who inspired me, and music that fits in my lane, that has a positive element to it or an encouraging element to it. And so you'll hear a few of those sing-alongs. Yeah, and then I'd hope you'd leave with a little extra bag of protons yourself, right? So you can take those out and share them with your neighbor.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that people that they feel that they're part of it. And I like those kind of venues where you can just tell the stories, you get into your acoustic jam, and it's just such a wonderful experience. I love doing that. So anybody who goes out to these kind of things, highly recommend it. We have a great club here called Eddie's Attic in Decatur, Georgia, which is kind of reminds me of that, where people are storytellers and they put on those kind of shows. But you've gotten into video too. There's a YouTube presence there as well, which I really enjoy. You have some interesting videos. You getting your wife into these videos as well, or is that an actor who's also in these?
It's an actor. Yeah, my wife,
Okay,
she's not. Yeah,
not
I
the
said you have to go. Yeah, you have to. You have to. Uh, you know, you have to learn a lot when you pivot careers uh, with your friends and family. So,
yeah.
she married this engineer who loves the outdoors and sports. That's who she married, and then this discovery as an artist happens, and she has to figure out how to relate to the new me. She's been phenomenal, amazing. Um, and we actually, when around about the time that I picked up, the guitar, she played around with the drums a little bit. So she can drum, but she's not, you know, obsessed with it like I am. And so I haven't really gotten her to play with me more than a few times. Um, she comes out. She's been a great supporter for my project. She'll come out a week out of the month and visit with me on the road, which is awesome. And I really appreciate that, but haven't gotten her into it yet. And I had a friend of mine, another songwriter, Ken Gaines, tell me some really amazing things. Um, about how to conduct yourself as a singer-songwriter or as an artist.
Mhm.
And the one that stuck with me the most is don't expect your friends and your family to be your fans,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
which
that's good advice.
it took me probably a year to unpack that because it's like, all right, when I create something, who do I want to share it with? All my
Right,
friends and
right.
family, right? But that's not their job or role. They may not even like your style of music. So,
Yeah. And that could be
you don't want to
crushing
make
too.
your relationships weird, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It can
yeah,
be
yeah, for
crushing.
sure.
It's like, oh, I don't particularly care for that song or that album. Like, I worked so hard on it. How could you? You're my loved one, all
Hard
that
on
kind of
that.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
could see
yeah,
that. I could
for
really see
sure.
that. But as a performer, and I'm singing like it moves in you video, you have that performance
Yeah.
ability. Like you're building on that, and you're learning how to, then you're dealing with the camera, and that's a whole different thing too. But it connects because you're performing, you're emoting, and that's why so many musicians, not all, you can get into acting. It's all in the arts discipline too. So that's just another layer. And some artists never really like doing music videos. It's like, I'm a musician, I don't do this. And it's like, but there's a connection there, and some of them just don't see that.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a like for the lot for live. So I'm just going to say in a live setting, there is a lot of visual elements, in my opinion, that kind of make people lean in or away from your performance. And so for me, like uh, a good video paired with a good song can help people connect with your music better and your act better. Um, and so I think from my point, not every song deserves a music video. I just my latest song, All in the Rhythm. I'm out hiking in the forest. There's a music video that goes with that. Um, and so I try to put videos out that express, the music that I'm releasing. I think it helps with your discoverability, but even more so, this visual element you're talking about, the acting element, super important live, right? And
Yeah.
so, if you just stand at the mic or sit in the chair the whole night, um, and do your thing, you can do it amazingly well, but the likelihood that you're going to connect with people much less. I think for me, um, there's got to be visual elements. You got to know how to you're playing a piece. You got to know how to stop and talk in the middle of the piece, right? It's not just a continual concert. How do you relate to people? When you're going to play a guitar solo,
Yeah.
do you play it in the same spot that you're singing behind the mic? No, right? You step out on the stage. You step out on the speaker, right? You do the thing, right? You give people, a way to relate to you in a new way. When I'm playing the piano, right? Um, you know, uh, is the am I sitting down? Am I standing up? You can't move the piano around. How do you think about the visual element that goes with, you playing the piano? What do you wear when you're performing, right? You gotta be thinking about all those things because I think people are used to a level of visual professionalism and audio professionalism, and so you want to at least be competitive in a way that makes people consider your message and your act, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely for sure. It's, and a nice collection of videos too. So some are professionally directed. How are you producing some of these videos?
Yeah, I found a local guy in Houston. I'm all about, I love local resources if I can find them. This guy named Charlie G, who runs a company called Cold Creek Productions, and he's a phenomenal. When there's a story to tell behind a song, he is the guy that I
Yeah.
go to. He did a video for me called Signal, which was really well done for my song Signal. He did one for It Moves in You, which was really, really amazingly done. Um, and recently I released a live performance series. I've got two songs out of that are a part of a three-song series. Um, and they're some of my more recent material, Your Voice and Fake Gravity. We did acoustic live production versions of those, and you can see the level of the camera work and such in there, pretty awesome. Especially in a live environment like that. He just did a great job with it. So he's got an amazing eye, and I really enjoy working with him. So when I want something more produced, that's where I go. Some of the other ones, they're less like I did. Some lyric videos where I'm just performing in the background in some way, for the style of the song, like um, Man in the Sky or All in the Rhythm, where they're not produced stories in some way, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's really amazing. And then some are just simply lyric videos, and that's just a way to get your presence there on YouTube. But just such a difference between doing
Yeah,
your performance videos and doing the lyric videos. That's more in post production when you're doing the lyric videos. But it's good to have out there too, to have that presence as well. So yeah, I mean, some great songs out there. Let It Rain is
yeah,
just one of those phenomenal tracks that stands out to me. Really does. It's a great,
yeah.
great,
Thank you so
great
much.
lyric video too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I usually write about the positive things, Bob.
Yeah.
That song actually is something that I just needed to get off my chest. I was talking to some friends who had just lost um, some siblings, and I'd gone through that myself. And in coaching them, they encouraged me to get my story out to more people because it was helping them to know kind of how I coped with the loss of my brother. And
Mm.
so that was the hardest song I've ever written because it was a very
Yeah,
personal,
absolutely.
journey
So,
for me.
yeah.
But that's what that song's about. It's dedicated to my brother Paul.
Oh my gosh, so sorry to hear that. It's just always, yeah, I mean, it's therapy in a way too. Music can be that way and be able to get
Yeah.
through those kind of things. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So I mean, how long are your tours going on now? It's you seem to be on the road quite a bit compared to being, and you're still in Sugarland,
I still live in Sugar Land. Today I'm in Portland, Oregon,
Portland.
out on the road. My tours are about 60 or 70 days long the spring and then 60 or 70 in the fall. So um, play about 130 shows a year in total. And it's road time. I think, if you know, you listen to, I'm a big studier, so
Yeah.
who's finding a way to develop a community. Who are the people who are out there doing it and who are, they're finding some traction. Um, in my opinion, most of those people are doing it on the road. They may get a discovery point. They may, win The Voice, or they may have a big hit that hits on Spotify somehow, but they still are out on the road, developing that community behind that or in front of that's
Mm.
occurred. And so I feel like being out on the road is an important part of my journey and my development, and the place that I'm finding my community.
Awesome. Yeah, and you got some heavy hitters that you look up to, like Tom Petty. It's just like has an incredible catalog, and Jason Mraz. Oh my gosh, it's just like these are really heavy hitters that you could really look at and say, wow, they're a huge inspiration. And John Mayer is just amazing. They had a lot of time here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, Eddie's Attic. You mentioned that. I'm like, all right, I got to play there, man. I need to
Oh
get
yeah,
Bob to hook me up to play there.
you really do need
It's
to go. I'll mention it, but yeah, I
yeah,
mean, whatever it
yeah,
takes. I mean, you'd be so great in that venue.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of great people, and there's some newer people. So those all three are definitely heavy influences. I learned to play the guitar playing John Mayer songs. Um, Tom Petty, just a big I love the way he writes and how simple he can make a song and still relate to people,
Oh yeah,
pretty phenomenal. And Jason Mraz, I love his quirky positivity. I just saw like a
yeah.
live YouTube version, like a recording of him playing a show in Paris. Got to be like 3 months ago. Just him and his acoustic guitar, 2 hours. He was phenomenal.
Oh
He
yeah.
told stories. He kept everybody in the groove. 2 hours. He had no production, no nothing. He just talent,
Yeah, yeah.
which is just a great. I've watched that video 4 or 5 times, just learning from the master. But there's some newer people too that are influencing me. I really um, I love the Red Clay Strays. They're really getting it done, and I admire their work ethic.
I'll look them up.
10 years they were grinding and didn't know if they were going to be around. And then they got discovered, and then boom, they just won the New Country Music Act of the Year, and they played the Houston Rodeo, and just great people. I don't think they're country myself. I think they're more like Southern rock or gospel rock. But genres are so weird these days. And then another artist that I've admired, Stephen Wilson Jr., just a great writer, working hard to do the thing, a great unique sound, an amazing voice. And he's finally getting some success too. So some encouraging points for people who are ahead of me in the journey, but not so far ahead of me like John Mayer that they're in the stratosphere.
Yeah, yeah.
The people for me to sort of think about how they found their way too.
Nice, nice. And your late now E equals MC squared is that one that's in your catalog too. Is that your latest?
That's my latest album that I've released, and a lot of fun songs in E equals MC squared as well. I think uh, fun making the album title, fun giving a nod to Albert Einstein,
Oh yeah.
because he's one of my science inspirations. But I got a chance to write some fun songs in that. So one of them, my favorite to play, um, personally, is Speed of Light, in that
Oh yeah.
album.
That captures you. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
uh, it's about it's about perspective, right? Relativity, and he wrote that. Einstein, wrote his theory of relativity. When I guess he it was inspired by the bicycle perspective and how you looked if you were riding the bicycle, how the world looked versus if you watched someone ride by you on the bicycle. And so I wrote the song kind of with that perspective, and you know, I was feeling did I, am I, am I making progress? I'm working really hard to do all the things. Am I really making progress? I'm really feeling like I'm stagnant. And if you get in the right perspective, you actually are moving at the speed of light. You just don't know it. And I put a polyrhythm in the song. So it's got two rhythms that overlap.
Mm.
And so just, crafting the song and a lot of fun making that one. And, another song that hits really well live from that is Seven Deadly Moods. Um, it's a it's a song about being, in a funk and trying to find your way out. So yeah, I
Yeah.
love fun album, and I love playing a lot of those songs live.
Yeah, I've got these bad moods, the seven deadly moods.
Hmm.
Really, I love the lyrics. It's just it's great. So
I've
when
got
you're
these
on the
bad moods. Yeah, living in my head. Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. So when you're on the road, are you writing constantly, taking your little voice notes, or is it just like, do you sit down all at once when you get back home and start writing the next album?
No, I've got a bunch of, I mentioned, in the morning I have this great ritual that I try to start every day with, where I just sort of wake up and, you know, have a cup of coffee, and while I'm having that cup of coffee, just let myself, what am I feeling today? I write some poetry or some thoughts around songs. Um, And so every day I have little tidbits of inspiration. A lot of times when I'm driving or I'm running or, rollerblading or doing something athletic outside along the tour route, uh, I'll relax enough to have inspiration. And so I'll do voice memos, while I'm out doing those things. And so I come back from my tour with like a bunch of concepts, nothing done. I find to be prepared to play a show every night, you don't really have a lot of extra attention that you can give to writing,
Yeah.
truly writing complete songs.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I come back with a ton of ideas that I curate then and bring them to life, when I'm back, for the summer or, in the fall. Um, So I'm not quite there yet where I can yeah, it takes me about maybe 3 hours to write a new song now. I've really worked a lot to be able to curate a song live, which is my piano or my guitar and my voice and a notepad. Um, so it takes me about 3 hours if I'm really focused and I have extra creative energy that day. Um, And so when I get back, I try to schedule times for me to have a writing session and take some of those ideas and bring them forward.
Oh, it's really interesting, very inspirational too, to see all this and to see how it's all come together for you. So kudos to you and for getting out there and basically, yeah, a second career for sure. And very, very good for you.
I'm
Seriously.
I feel I don't know, I feel so fortunate, so blessed to be able to do it. My friends and family have all come together behind me to help me make it happen. And um, it just lights me up every night to be out sharing music and playing. Uh, I think there's some things that I wish I had people to help me with, right? Social media and some of the other elements that are a little more business elements and less creative, or live performance oriented. But that comes with the territory. So I feel
Right.
fortunate to be here, Bob. It's an amazing spot.
Yeah. It's hard to do it all. It really is when you got to then have that layer of trying to get the word out and dealing with social
Yeah.
media and sending out newsletters and things like that. Yeah, it's hard to do it. So, I mean, maybe one day you can get assistants and people, experts to read
Yeah.
the algorithms and get you out there.
Yeah.
That's
That
for
would be
sure.
awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by. I really enjoyed it.
Appreciate you having me, Bob. And I guess I'm hopeful. Anyone listening, maybe you'll catch some extra protons from our conversation today and get out there and share them with your neighbor.
Awesome. 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 Have a good one. Take care.
Thanks, Bob.
And get Mark's music wherever you can get that music. Speed of Lights, wonderful song. It moves in you. Notice that theme. Who does that? Nobody. Nobody. He's a total original. Thank you so much for coming here and listening to my little corner of the world conversations over to you, expanding those horizons, getting to know people that you wouldn't get to know otherwise. That's why you drop on by here. It's just a marvelous time to be doing podcasting and talking with wonderful people all over the arts world and beyond, leaders too, writers, creators, where we're opening it up to a lot of different people here. About 6 years strong now. All right. See you next time.